Hello there, Minnesota Twins fans. My name is Seth Stows from Twins Daily. We're going to spend just a minute here kind of introducing what the show is tonight. We've never really done this before, but we figured out this StreamYard system. We did post-game pints all season long, and we thought we'd try this for tonight. First things first, if you haven't watched the first edition of Off Season Live that Nick Nelson did last week, his Twins Jeopardy was fantastic, and he's got another show Tuesday night this week and Thursday night this week. So it should be a lot of fun. Hopefully you'll be able to enjoy that. Tonight, this week actually, we are going to be announcing our Twins Daily Awards as we've done every year. Normally we've already done a week and introduced our minor league players of the year, pitchers of the year, all that. Tonight we're going to introduce our Rookie of the Year choice. The rest of the week we'll do Most Improved, the top pitcher, and the MVP, one each day. So be sure to check twinsdaily.com for that. Really excited about tonight's show. We're going to announce the Rookie of the Year, give you a little information, and then in just a couple of minutes, we'll be joined by that player to talk about his season and see how his offseason plans are going so far. So without further ado, let's get started here. All right, the 2020 Twins Daily Awards, we're starting with the Rookie of the Year. Whoops. Showing off my PowerPoint skills here. Something to remember, we've been doing this now for 5 years. Our previous winners are Miguel Sano, Max Kepler, Trevor Hildenberger, Mitch Garver, and last year it was Luis Arraez. In just a minute, you'll see who the 2020 choice was. So real quickly, over the last few years, instead of just one or two people voting on this award, we're now including all our Twins Daily writers, minor league writers, major league writers. We're up to 23 writers now, and all voted. For this specific award, they voted for their top three choices. First place vote was worth 3 points, second place 2 points, third place vote 1 point. And to be eligible, we follow the major league rules, which is for pitchers less than 50 innings pitched and hitters dependent on service time. So without further ado, our choice for the 2020 Twins Daily Rookie of the Year is Ryan Jeffers. I should have some clapping or something like that in the background. I'll clap myself. Real quickly, I just thought we'd look at the vote. This is as close as it's ever been. You can see Jeffers topped Randy Dobnak in a very close vote. In fact, Randy Dobnak got a couple more first-place votes, but Ryan Jeffers appeared on every ballot. Jorge Alcala finished third, and Brent Rooker and Cody Stashik got a couple of votes. I just pulled this off of Twitter. We did a poll of Twins fans and asked you regarding the top three who you would vote for. And as you can see, Ryan Jeffers got 48.3% of the vote. So congratulations to Ryan Jeffers. And with that, let's bring in the 2020 Twins Daily Rookie of the Year, Ryan Jeffers. Ryan, how are you tonight?
How's it going? Thank you for the honor.
It's quite an honor. And frankly, with the number of plate appearances you had this year, you could win it again next year.
That's the goal, every year.
Win it every year. Well, again, thank you very much for joining. You're back home. Season maybe didn't quite last as long as you were hoping, but what's the transition been back to quote unquote normal, leaving Minneapolis, St. Paul, and heading back to North Carolina?
Yeah, we spent, me and my wife spent a couple days up in Minneapolis, kind of getting our apartment back together, ready to come back home. We flew back into Raleigh, spent a couple days with our families, and then came back to Wilmington yesterday. Started getting unpacked and get settled here and get back to the normal everyday life of off season. So it's been nice. We're kind of starting to decompress a little bit. And yeah.
Have you had a chance to, like you said, decompress, but have you had a chance to just kind of reflect yet? Is it too soon? Is it too fresh still to be able to look back and say, everything that's happened from your spring training to a pandemic to summer camp to a surprise call-up to the playoffs? And, a lot's happened for you in the last 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, it's been a crazy ride. Getting the honor to be in that 60-man roster going into the summer camp, and then getting the opportunity to be able to target field for the actual camp itself. There was just so much up in the air with what was the year was going to bring. I just brought it every day to the field, just ready to get after it and do what I can to continue to develop. And then when I got that shot, it was an awesome, amazing feeling, and being able to go up there and perform and help the team in ways that just any way I could was great.
So take us back to that moment. You're in St. Paul, just kind of working every day with a lot of talented players. What was the phone call? You've shared this with reporters already on Zoom calls, but I mean, I'm imagining it's a moment that you don't necessarily hate talking about. You got the call. How did you find out, and what were the emotions that night or that day?
Yeah, we were watching the game, and then after the game had ended, we were just hanging out, kind of finishing our stuff for the night, and then I heard my phone start buzzing from Alex Hassan, the minor league farm director, and I was like, I wonder what he's calling about. And then he said, "Hey, we need you up in the big leagues," and it was kind of a crazy just rush of emotions. There wasn't you've been waiting for that call your whole life, but there's so much that you just got to get prepared for mentally, and the nerves took a little while to set in, but the next day driving to the field, I was starting to get a little bit nervous, but once I got in that field, it was just kind of game time, and it was time to go play ball. So yeah, it was really cool. It's a day you dream about forever, and it lived up to it.
For sure. I mean, I imagine it was difficult not having your family there. I mean, that to me is one of the coolest things about a debut is everyone's able to go there. This year, that's not able to happen. But I imagine, your phone started going crazy. Your I'm guessing parents and in-laws and everybody. How long did it take you to get caught up on the messages?
Yeah, I had probably more messages than I've ever had, but it was cool to kind of see how much support I had from people and places from all over. I took a couple days and just kind of let my messages sit there and kind of focus on the game and focus on just being present with what was going on. And then I slowly over 2 or 3 days got back to everybody, and it was really cool. It was cool to see all that support.
Yeah, no question. And I do want to welcome, if you're watching on Twins Daily's Twitter account, Facebook, YouTube, feel free to leave messages for Ryan or ask questions if you have some. We'll take a few of those as we get going here. We'll have him on here for maybe 10, 15 minutes and see how it goes. Again, Ryan Jeffers named the 2020 Twins Daily Rookie of the Year. Again, it's something we've been doing for 6 years, and for the most part, it bodes well. So hopefully that can continue. Your debut, first at bat, you get a single and an RBI, get those out of the way. You got hit by a pitch. You had another hit. You caught Jose Barrios, and really what seemed to be a turning point game for him. Mm-hmm. I'm just, again, I talk about emotions here. I just imagine the emotions of a debut are tough enough, but you really, seemed cool and calm. Were you like a duck on water, or were you as calm as you looked?
Yeah, no, for me, being around for that summer camp time had really helped me feel comfortable with all the team, the coaches, the environment. So when that light flicked on and it was game time, I was able to really just lock in on the job at hand, catching Barrios and getting those ABs. It was just another game for me. I know it was the big leagues. It kind of helped there wasn't 40,000 people in the stands yelling at me. That would have added another little wrinkle. But it was just I felt comfortable, and I hope it showed, like you said.
Getting a few questions on this topic, and it was one I had jotted down in my notes, but you've always talked about how proud you are of the catcher that you are, and I've talked to a lot of Twin scouts who we always heard about you as a bat first catcher, but Twin scouts said they saw something when you were at Wilmington, and they said, hey, he can catch, and you've proven everybody right over time. So I do have a few questions as it relates to that, and the first one I'm just going to, because I want to encourage questions, Mustache Steve asks, was Avila able to share any wisdom as a veteran backstop? And I know we talked in June, even before summer camp started, about your time in spring training, working with Alex Avila, working with Mitch Garver. What were they able to, specifically to this question, Alex Avila, what was he able to help you with?
Yeah, he was unbelievable, instrumental, in my comfort level this year. Him and Garver both took me in with very open arms, were willing to take any questions that I had for them. Avila I really was able to pass on how, I mean, you can tell he's been in the game for a long time. He's seen pretty much everything that you can see as a catcher. I was able to come across situations where I wasn't sure what was going on or whatnot, and was able to turn to him, and he was able to really give me good guidance and help me through some of the things that as a rookie you experience and you're not sure the right path to go down. So he was awesome. I mean, it was unbelievable to have him kind of mentoring me this year. And like I said, Garver did the same thing. Like, he was very open. He's been in the big leagues for a couple of years now and been awesome. And this year he kind of helped me, and like, they were both very open to anything I had for them.
I want to ask you this one too, because I don't want to lose it. And it's Matthew Taylor asking, congratulations first, Ryan. Awesome season. You tweeted about not wanting to see robo-umps anytime soon. I believe that was the one you sent to me. How fun is it for you to steal strikes that you know were balls? I mean, I'll just tell my side of it is, as a fan, I hate when Twins batters get the bats taken out of their hands because the other catcher stole a strike. And we forget how many you steal for the Twins pitchers. What is that like? Do you feel during the game that you're helping and you're getting those calls, or is that just something you see in the stats later?
Yeah, no, for me, it's something that I focus on. I mean, every pitch is an opportunity for me to change the count. You know, the count fluctuate, like the batting averages for different counts fluctuate so much. So me stealing a strike can really change an at bat for the pitcher. I mean, going from a 1-1 count to a 1-2 count, or the opposite, can really change how you pitch someone. So, you know, it's a really big area where I can change the game. So I put really a lot of effort into it and really trying to steal strikes. You know, it's fun. I love making a hitter mad. I know it's part of the game. I hope it stays as part of the game, like you said. I don't think we should bring in the robot umpires into the game. I think it just takes up too much of the human element of the game. And I think there's little things that we can do to make it more consistent and better. But I don't think the robot should ever make it in there.
Here's a question from YouTube from Chad Ernst, and it sticks along this catcher theme as we're on right now. Chad asks, have you had a chance to talk to Joe Mauer? And I don't know what the and is, but we're just going to go with that first part. If so, have you been able to, well, let's start with, have you had a chance to talk to Joe Mauer?
I haven't. No, I haven't seen him around. I know he didn't come around much with the coronavirus. We weren't really able to have anyone around. I look forward to having that conversation and just chatting with him. You know, another guy that's seen it all behind the plate as a baseball player in general. So I look forward to that conversation.
All right. Again, my name is Seth Stoes of Twins Daily and twinsdaily.com, joined by, let's see, this direction, Ryan Jeffers, our Twins Daily choice for Rookie of the Year for 2020. We welcome your questions and comments, and congratulations in the chat room. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about St. Paul, the Twins Ultimate site. And when we hear about that or heard about that, it was, you know, we were talking about you and Alex Kirilloff, Royce Lewis, Joan Duran, Dakota Chalmers, a lot of the prospects. But kind of, again, sticking on the catcher theme, over there was also Juan Gratterall, who has done a ton in the professional baseball ranks as a catcher and in the big leagues, and Tomas Elise, who I think has spent parts of 4 or 5 seasons in the big leagues and hit .330 in Rochester last year. So with that kind of as the backdrop, you had a youth and you had some veterans who have been there. I imagine the working, I don't know, the just arena there had to have been just great for development, even if it may have been boring at times.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was really the coaches and everybody put us as players in a position to really do our best to be ready to get that call and perform when we do. From the catching position, you know, Juan and Tomas and Hamilton and everybody that was up there, we really got after it every day, and, you know, did our defensive work and our offensive work, caught our bullpens, you know, really just put ourselves in the position. Like I said, like, we knew we weren't having a season, we weren't going to have any games, but we needed to be ready if our name was called. So we pushed each other, and then up and down. I mean, like you said, we had so many prospects over there. It was fun. It was fun to see all those guys out there competing and performing. It was tough. There were some long days, but having in the back of your mind that you're one call away, a 15-minute drive away from the big leagues, you know, kept you pushing.
Was that honestly in the back of your head? And I asked that from the standpoint that, they did bring a lot of veterans with major league time, and guys like Caleb Thielbar were able to have pitched in the big leagues and just step right in, having been there before. Whereas you had like 26 games at Double-A, and I think Royce had about the same, and Kirilloff spent part of the season there. Larnach spent part of the season at Double-A. Were you focused and talking to Derek Felvey, he kept saying that there is nobody in St. Paul that we wouldn't feel comfortable calling up if needed. Was that the message that you guys were given, or were you able to keep that as part of your thought process there?
Yeah, no, absolutely. We all of us knew that like I said, we're a phone call away. For me personally, I felt pretty comfortable that, hey, I was next in line if something was to happen. I just needed to go out there and be ready, be as ready as I can every day for if someone was to go down with injuries or whatever it might be. I need to be able to go out there and step in and perform at a high level. And I think that was the mindset for a lot of guys. Some guys didn't get the opportunity, but they busted their butts every day to be ready. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Now we've talked catching, and just to kind of put a bow tie on the catching conversation is, you finished, according to StatCast, in the 90th percentile among pitch framers. So, again, that's part of the reason you got this. But I'd also just want to kind of tie it together with, Randy Dobnik being a very close second in this voting. Jorge Alcala was a young guy who did well. Cody Stashak's still a rookie. You worked with some young guys, but then to work with Maeda. Barrios has been around, been a two-time All-Star. Rich Hill's been around forever. Did you learn a lot from those veterans that you got a chance to work with on the mound? And I noticed in the playoff game, you and Maeda had a couple of conversations. Looked like the ump was asking you if you needed a translator, some of that stuff. Was the communication difficult? That was about 4 questions there, so I apologize.
So I was able to take in just as much as I was able to from the catchers, from those veteran pitchers. Those guys really, they've seen everything from bad catchers, good game callers, bad game callers. So I was able to soak in everything they told me and apply it to my game. For me as a catcher, like so much of my job and my position is to learn those guys inside and out. You have to know what makes them tick, what gets them going, everything. And it's different for every guy. Some of the veteran guys need a lot less than some of the young guys do. But up and down, that's a big thing of my job is being able to learn those guys and really make them feel comfortable and trust me. And those older guys helped me just like I said, just like the catchers did, and helped me through different situations. And I felt open, and they felt like they gave me the availability to go ask them questions. And then with Maeda and towards the end there, we were able to have we have cards in our hats and stuff to be able to change the signs, and we were able to work through. He knows enough English to kind of talk baseball a little bit. So we were able to have some good conversations and figure out what we needed to do.
All right, let's talk a little more hitting because that's fun. How big of a relief was it for you to get home run number 1? And by the way, I think it was about a 900-mile-per-hour shot to dead center into the ivy. That had to feel pretty good rounding the bases.
Yeah, it was really good. That's another one of those milestones and those moments you dream of. Your first hit, just your debut in general, your first home run. It felt really good. It was kind of a breath of fresh air. I'd been hitting good. I'd just been hitting singles all over the park. So it was nice to lift a ball, and it kind of made me get comfortable in there a little bit more and start driving the ball a little bit better. It was just a great feeling.
All right, a few more minutes here with Ryan Jeffers before we let him go and we call it a show. No more than 10 minutes, I promise. So if anyone has any questions or want to leave any more comments, please feel free to do so, and we'll get those asked. Hard hit ball percentage, barrel percentage. You were within the top 3 or 4 on the team, and that's on a team that has Nelson Cruz and Miguel Sano and Eddie Rosario, some guys who hit the ball really hard. How did you feel at the plate? Because the other stat that I think pops up is you only swung it like 25, 26% of pitches outside of the strike zone. So aside from hitting the ball hard, you seem to know the strike zone well, whether it's because you're a catcher or because you're a hitter. Might be a little of both. How did you play?
Yeah, for me, I've always been a patient, more a hitter, more on the patient side. I've never been super aggressive, swinging a ton out of the strike zone. A goal of mine going into last year was to swing more in the zone, was to pull the trigger more often, and I think it's helped me find more of those barrels. That's the biggest thing for me. I don't try and lift the ball. I don't try and drive the ball out of the park every time. I'm just trying to find consistently hard barrels. You hit a ball 100-mile-an-hour plus, something good usually happens. So for me, if I don't chase and if I hit the ball hard, that's best case scenario. And I mean, if it falls my way, it falls my way. But I'm putting myself in a good spot. So, yeah.
I sometimes don't think that just fans understand that coming up as a catcher has to be hard, and not only this year with everything involved, the COVID, the summer camp, the injuries that happened across baseball, but you've got to learn pitchers, which you had a chance to do in summer camp and spring training a little bit. You got to learn pitchers that you're going to hit against, and you have to try to do all of that. Plus, you had to do that in a sprint of a season instead of a marathon of a season where every game mattered right up to the last day when you guys won the division. That's a lot going on. Do you think it was more fun to debut in a season like this where every game mattered than maybe it might have in a regular debut type of situation?
Yeah, the debut is a debut, but like this year was awesome. I hopped right in and was in meaningful games. There was a stretch where I was practically catching every day, it felt like, and those games were all important. Every single game this year was important. And I was able to go out there and play a big role in helping the team win and get through those games and work with the pitchers and make them feel comfortable and throw good games. As a catcher, my job is so much more. There's so much more impact I can have on the defensive side, calling a good game, helping the pitcher and doing all I can over there. And I was able to jump in and do that in meaningful games. It was really cool.
Absolutely. And then getting a chance to start both games in the playoffs had to be nerve-wracking maybe, but kind of cool. I mean, I'll just be honest, they gave Garver a chance because of what he did the year before. He got some opportunities once he was healthy, but you were still able to step right back in, even though you had a few more days off down the stretch. That has to feel good of where the organization, where Rocco Baldelli, where your teammates, how they feel about you, not only this year, but clearly going forward too, since you're 23.
Yeah, it was cool to see that in that short amount of time, I was able to build enough trust with my teammates and with the coaching staff in the front office that they felt comfortable to put me in those situations. For me, I mean, I had a little bit of nerves going into that first playoff games, but it was easy. It was easy for me to control those and get back and just go do what I do. Catching Kenta and catching Jose make for fun games behind the plate. And that always helps me putting down the fingers, knowing that their stuff is as good as it is. It was an honor. It was really cool to catch those two games and get that playoff experience so early in my career. So, like I said, I mean, I'm the one in AL Central Championship. So,
right. And a team that has a chance to build upon that with some young guys, with some veterans, and more guys like you saw in St. Paul this year too. And we got to see as the season went, Rook or Kirilloff and more to come. 3 questions, and we're going to call it good. I want to ask you about playing with Nelson Cruz because everyone talks about his leadership, but for a guy like you to have a guy like that, but also guys like Rosario, Sano, Kepler, who have been around for 6 years or been in the organization for 10 to 12 years. There's a lot of veterans that you could go to offensively as well. So just kind of speak to that. And obviously with free agency, you don't know what's going to happen this offseason, but what an opportunity to play with a guy like Cruz.
Yeah, Nelson's a guy that's super approachable, but he's really a guy that leads by example. He does everything the right way, whether it be his routine, off the field. He handles himself really well. You never see him throw a bat, slam a helmet. Like there's just things that he does that you can look up to as a younger player. And then there's guys like Donaldson who are awesome. They're the best guys that you could just have a conversation with off the field, whether it be you're struggling or you're going good. Like they've seen a lot, they've been through it, and they can help you as a younger guy get through tough patches or you're feeling something at the plate. Either both of them, Donaldson, Cruz, Kepler, all those guys, they're all super approachable to go to and have those conversations.
Want to ask you this question, and You were the second round pick in 2018, literally just over 2 years ago. This is going to turn into a two-parter, so I already lied about how many questions are back. When you were drafted 2 years ago, were you thinking you'd be in the big leagues at this time, or did you have any sort of goal of when you wanted to get here?
Yeah, for me, my goal playing through after that first short season, hey, if I spend my first full season high AA, it worked out. That was my goal, my first short season. Coming into this year, we're thinking, hey, let's go AA, AAA, and then at the end of the year, have a shot. Like, let's put ourselves in a situation this year to have a shot to make the big leagues and impact the big league team if that presented itself. How the season worked out, it kind of skewed our route a little bit, but we made it, and this would have been my second full year. So it was short, it was quick, but I'm ready, and I'm ready to keep going, in the next year and many years to come. So
yeah, many years to come. So I was looking at the 2018 draft. You were the 10th player from that draft to get called up to the big leagues, all of them being this year. Kind of a weird situation with this year. 6 of those players that were drafted in 2018 that appeared in the big leagues before you pitched or played in the American League Central. Do you know that when you're hitting, and can you even guess who a couple of them are? Maybe
I know Mize. I think Scooball was one. Like, there was a couple guys, the Tigers. I think there was a couple for the White Sox, right? A couple pitchers.
Madrigal.
Oh, Madrigal. Yep.
Cody Hoyer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He pitched out of their bullpen. He was a 6th round pick. They had another one, Jonathan Stiver. I can't even read my writing here. He was a late pick. But yeah, you mentioned Mize and Scooball and Madrigal. The Royals had Brady Singer and Chris Bubich. And I guess my question there is, this division isn't going to get any easier going forward with talent like Singer, like Madrigal, the guys we've mentioned, and there's more coming too. How do you separate year to year? I mean, you kind of take 2020 now as its own entity, and then you got to start thinking 2021. When does that process start happening for you? When do you start thinking and preparing yourself physically or mentally for 2021 season?
Yeah, the division is going to be good for a while. We know that. I mean, you play this year looking at pitching staffs that these guys have and the youth that all these teams have, including ourselves. It's going to be a fun division for a long time. It's going to be a tough division. It's going to be a tough division to be a hitter in because there's a lot of really good arms. But that's what's fun about baseball. It's a challenging game. And for me, for mentally and physically, I'll probably take a month or two off of baseball and just kind of decompress and get my body back in the gym probably in a couple weeks and start getting back after it and then slowly start working into to throwing and swinging again. It doesn't take a lot for me to ramp up baseball once I pick it up, so I'll probably give myself a month or two back there mid-December and then into January and then into February to get ready and then ready to go. I'm going to prepare myself. I'm not sure exactly what my role at the beginning of the year is going to be. Obviously, I want to be that opening day catcher. I'm a competitor. I want to be that guy, but I'm going to prepare and work my tail off to show up spring training ready. So, I'm excited. I'm excited for 2021. And like you said, there's so much youth in our system and in the others. It's going to be fun for a while.
Yeah, I definitely think it will be. There's a lot of talent. AL Central should continue to be good. Kind of along that line then, what do you do in the off season to get away from baseball? Do you and your wife have big plans, or are you going to stay around North Carolina for the most part? What do you got going on? Anything fun and exciting?
No, we live on the beach, or close to the beach. We're a couple minutes from the beach, so we love to spend our time there, going around, walking around. We want to be able to travel a little bit more this year, whether it be up to the mountains. The nice thing about North Carolina is we got the beach on one side and we got the mountains on the other. So we'll probably travel around a little bit and just kind of get away from baseball for a little bit, and then like I said, my schedule gets kind of busy once I start ramping up. So it's kind of, we get back into that baseball mode there in December and get going. So, yeah.
For sure. And honestly, this one is just for ratings. I hear that for video, people like seeing dogs. Is there any chance we get to see the puppy?
Absolutely. I can bring him over. Yogi.
Is that okay?
I named him after Yogi
For
Berra.
the dog, or during the season, that the dog was excited, sad to see you traveling on the road. So, got to see the puppy.
There we go. Bring him in here.
Oh yeah,
This is Yogi. This is
Hi, Yogi.
people love the pets.
That is fantastic.
He's a year old. He's awesome. He's a frisbee. I taught him how to catch frisbees over Corona break. So he will go out in the yard and he'll run around me, and then I'll throw the frisbee and he'll run and jump up and catch it. And so he's awesome. He's a young little spunky guy, but it's fun. He's awesome.
That's awesome. Now, I should ask: is this because you're got to be close to your 1 year anniversary? I hope I didn't interrupt. I hope it's not today, and I messed up your schedule.
No, we got married December 1st. So
Okay.
We got a little bit over a month. But it's been awesome. Me and my wife been together since we were 15, and it was cool to get the baseball stuff starting to get settled. So we finally put a ring on it. I'm sure she was happy, but
All right. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for joining tonight. Stick around when I shut this down for just 2 seconds, but congratulations on a great rookie year. A lot happened for you, like I said, over the last 8 or 9 months. Well, for the last year, I guess, if we want to go that big. And congratulations. It was a lot of fun to watch you, and hope it'll be fun to watch you for many years to come.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's gonna be a fun future for Twins territory. So hopefully we can get everybody out in the park next year, and we can get some fans in the seats. So thanks for having me.
We're definitely hoping. Again, that's Ryan Jeffers, the Twins Daily 2020 Rookie of the Year. Thanks to everyone for listening. And again, stop by. Nick Nelson wrote up the article. It'll be posted tonight here in a couple of hours, so be sure to check that out. Again, thank you, Ryan. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and have yourselves a great night. And, of course, go Twins.